Why is there an appetite for that? And we can look at that in the lead up to a number of things that we see. If we look at what happened with Senator Osotsi, it wasn't let's have a conversation. It was I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life for you to get the message. When goons come, they don't come with their hands together clasped to let's have a conversation. They come with crude weapons. They come to exert a level of control with this. Why is it the violence that's the ingredient?
Let me just make a small comment on that. And I think the one of Tom Ogenda, in fact, Nikal is a very good friend of mine. I didn't want to say both are good friends of mine, but both are known to me. But Tom Ogenda is not my friend. But Nikal is for very many years. And Nikal is a very interesting type of politician. And those politicians are there in this country. They are not loud fellows, but they're there in this country, and they work, and they actually get elected time and time again. I can give several examples in Nyanza of those type of politicians. They don't appear in federals with goons. They arrive like the Nordic guy, I'm telling you. And some people say hi, and they say hi. Then we have now the other group. So my point is that we do actually have examples of politicians in Kenya who are just busy doing their work.
But where did it start that you need to exert a certain level of violence for control?
That's what I'm coming to. And these guys get elected. These guys are going around the business and so on. And they get elected in these same violent parties and so on. Then we have another group of politicians who are actually misleaders. They're not even leaders in the first instance. They employ goons. They beat up people. They start ethnic violence. They come with this total divisive politics, and they also do get elected. So my point is that, and most of those Kisumu politicians are like that, by the way. Kisumu has some of the most violent politicians across this country. And even in Nairobi, we see that. So also, we cannot actually say that it's impossible to assert yourself as a politician in Kenya by just behaving decently. We do actually have those type of politicians. But what we are seeing all the way from MCA to national level are basically politicians who are thriving on divisiveness, we're thriving on ethnic mobilization, we're thriving on violence. And if you look at them carefully, they're also the politicians who are not delivering. And I'm not just talking about the MCA, I'm talking all the way to the presidency. People are just doing their work. Kenyans will know, and Kenyans respect that. And that has happened in this country, and that's happening in this country is only that a lot of those fellows don't have voice. And then you have these other guys who are saying, okay, fine, we are the ones who are controlling the ground. And it's always those politicians who are not delivering that go that route. If you do the anatomy and start checking, they're those guys that Honorable Mutambo was talking about. Those fellows who should not have been even been leaders in the first instance. They get in leadership position, they're delivering nonsense or nothing for that particular reason. And all they do is to move around with is to create a spectacle and move around with these goons and so on, including even the ones that I'm talking about in Kisumu. If you looked at all of them, and I'm not just talking about Uganda, there are many others actually. If you look at all of them, they have zero track record. They have you cannot respect them any day. But on the other hand, they assert themselves by actually, projecting violence. They assert themselves by this crude monkey, chimpanzee type dominance, where the only thing that you're pushing there is physical strength. Honestly. I'll make a special prison for you guys if the government will not do.
With all due respect, allow me to say that I appreciate, and I want to start from where you began, about your study and what you came to find out, and who are the initiators and who are the culprit of this violence.